Hello. Let's see where I can put this. I have some stuff. Well, it's not my stuff, but ignore the towel. Just don't look at the towel. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Isis, and this is Isis Says Hi. Hello. Can I help you? You're not getting any food from me, ma'am. I'm dog sitting. I'll insert a picture or something here. But I have my coffee in this like cute flamingo cup that I got from Target. And I have my pretty badly burnt breakfast. But it's okay. I'm not saying that I'm not political, because obviously I do research a lot of political systems and policies and programs. Unfortunately, I can't be as vocal unless it is for one side. And I think we all know what that side is. I want to talk about, how do you pronounce it? Comcast is truly a terrible internet company. I really don't know why it still exists. Kamala. Kamala. That sounds so weird. Kamala. Look at me, policing how somebody's name is said as if my name isn't.
Looking at how to pronounce the name of American lawyer and politician serving
Kamala.
as the junior United States Senator from
Kamala
Harris. Kamala Harris, United States Senator.
I like the way you say
Kamala Harris.
I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris's. She was recently announced as the VP pick for Joe Biden. I'm going to be as candid yet as respectful and responsible for my words as possible, because I think that's really, really important. I looked down at my food and was like, oh my god, food. I feel like the VP pick, at least for her, it's reminding me of 2016 again, where I hope you can't hear that freaking thing. They've been doing some weird construction all day. I don't understand. But it's reminding me of 2016, where there was this just plain out attacks against Hillary, and how that led to people saying they weren't going to vote or were going to vote third party, even though the two-party system in America is so strong that voting third party would have to be like overwhelming. Well, there are too many party options outside of Republican and Democrat that would never work. And while I'm all for people having their own political interests, while I'm all for people having their own political opinions and professing that, when so many people in 2016 were telling you that that was not the best idea, and I see the same thing happening with Kamala. Where people are like, oh, well, I guess y'all really don't want to abolish prisons. I guess y'all really don't want to defund the police and da-da-da. And it's like, that's not what it is. It's not going to sound like a boomer, essentially. This small subsection of Twitter is all about progressive ideas. Doesn't mean that that represents America as a whole. The way that the United States is, we're fighting over masks and whether or not we should wear them in a pandemic. So if we can't even all agree about masks, can you imagine presidents and electing people to Congress to hold the president accountable? If we can barely agree on that one thing, we can barely agree on making sure that everybody gets proper care, that people are actually going to be paid adequately, that people who might be in public benefits programs are actually able to survive on those until they can get themselves out of that. We're barely able to acknowledge that a certain set of humans deserve rights, deserve to be respected and not killed in the street because of how they physically look. I was surprised that the Supreme Court even acknowledged that LGBTQ plus discrimination should not belong in the workplace. But then I was like, okay, we're back to normal, when they decided to ignore qualified immunity and say that, oh no, this still needs to be in place. In this political sphere, you're going to make things and past mistakes that you shouldn't be making, but you do it so that you can get other things through, so that other things can happen. I get that you want to be angry, I get you want to yell at them, be mad, do all of these things, and I don't disagree. And we can have a talk about how the political sphere really upholds white supremacy and the patriarchy, because I completely agree. Working in nonprofits, I realized that people have to be really careful about what they say, because saying anything wrong means you lose big donors or you lose politicians who would be able to promote your work or fight for you on the floor. The fact that we have to be so careful and asking for people to acknowledge human beings and give them more money and more resources is an issue. People really have to think about it, and I understand wanting to be mad and frustrated and wanting to yell from the rooftops about how angry you are, but it doesn't mean that you have the right to accuse people of not wanting to defund the police. The same way voting for Hillary in 2016 meant that you were for war criminals in Benghazi. I get that Kamala Harris is not what people would have wanted, but I can tell you right now, if I'm thinking about picks, yes, there are a whole list of black women, but they were not as well known as Kamala Harris, so it wouldn't have worked. Liz Warren is another good pick because she does know her stuff and she's able to detail it out, but the way she went off in the Democratic debates, it would not have worked. Couldn't have chose Bernie because Bernie is way too polarizing for people, and so it wouldn't have worked. I might have won him a lot of young voters. Really, you need a lot of older voters too. So politically, it is a good choice. At least you can hold them to task and hold them accountable. And it doesn't mean that you just do not vote at all. You still have congressional seats that need to be filled. And those are the people that you're truly directly voting in that are supposed to hold these folks to task. And also, stop yelling at people about primary voting, because when it got to the other half of the state, half of the people that probably we would have voted for dropped out of the race. And we can talk about that too, about how ridiculous it is that all of the states couldn't vote at the same time for a Democratic candidate. That by the time we got to the Northeast, barely had anybody to vote for. And we had one who said he was going to stay on the ticket to get delegates, which makes absolutely no sense. Sorry. And then you had Joe Biden, who didn't really say much until now. We can have that talk about how our political system is really not great. You can be mad and upset that she's a VP. You have no right to accuse people of wanting the criminal justice system to never change. I had to step away and be like, I don't know what the hell is happening on the internet today. I said it was gonna be, I feel like I'm yelling. Sometimes you do not have a choice. Don't stop voting because you're not happy with a decision. And don't vote third party. We've had the same discourse that we're having right now. It was a lot. It was usually from the Bernie people. Now it's just everyone. I don't want to discount the feelings of people who just feel very disillusioned, because that is a very real thing. And I need people who are verified checks to really think about the things that they're saying, or people who have huge public platforms to be really thoughtful about the things that they're saying. When the VP pick came out, and I mean everybody said, this is gonna be a crap show, and it is. We should have all taken a drink or a breath, composed ourselves before just flying off at the handle. Because I kind of did it, and then I was like, ooh girl, take a break and come back. And I did. Yes, you should still go vote, and stop being mad at people who keep telling you that. And yes, voter suppression exists, and that is an issue and a problem, especially now. And that is probably one of the biggest things I want to say that can't be compromised, and it can't, but Jesus help me. That is one of the biggest things that you can do. And I don't want to police people's language or police people's feelings, because I think people have the right to feel what they feel, but I think sometimes we need to take it off a public platform and really sit in those feelings, discuss it with other people. That's my talk about Kamala Harris. I want you to tell me if I'm right or wrong, because that is what it means to have a discussion. I try my best to formulate these words well, and I'm gonna still go back probably in editing and make things as clear as possible, because I don't want my words to be misconstrued. I don't want people to feel like they don't have the right to say anything, because everybody does. Thanks. Goodbye.